Now, real quick here, since I usually keep this at 30 minutes, and we're up to 37 minutes, but I just came back from the Financial Media Summit. I spent 3 days there. A lot of companies, it's big marketing summit for our industry. You see the largest publishers, a lot of companies, everyone's struggling, right? Those stocks are down. It's hard to promote. Porter Stansberry spoke at it. I had a great conversation with him for half an hour. Yeah, I mean, he brought market-wise out there, $3 billion valuation. It's down significantly now. It was a SPAC, and it's come down. He was humble about everything. Talking about the state of the industry. Aaron DeHoog, Banyan Hill, good friend, great guy, brilliant. Just amazing. Everywhere he goes, he just builds lists, builds companies, and doing a great job as an Agora affiliate, Banyan Hill. And it's funny how, and also Marin Svornik is Marin Katusha's partner who was there, and he's a great guy, young guy, and just to see how much that company's developed and what they're doing in terms of capital raising and stuff is awesome. But a lot of industry heavyweights, but talking to Porter, even Aaron, it's nice to see that these guys are like, we have to focus on the guru. We have to provide better services for the customers. And I've always said that. And it's the reason why I started this company. Because the last 5 years of the financial news industry have been a complete fucking shit show. It's been disgusting. I mean, people not even writing the newsletters. And I hate, you don't want to talk terrible about it. I know it sounds bad, but you need to. Because if I don't, you're going to purchase garbage. And you're going to get wrecked. And to see everyone saying we need to focus on the customer, and I told you this, for a person analyzed business for 30 years, analyzing businesses, I've never seen companies succeed that don't focus on the customer first. Right here, I'm telling you my stocks are down. I'm helping you out. I'm letting you know exactly what to do. I'm busting my ass to provide the right research for you. I'm trying to find, hey, here's the setup we want to get into. These are the names. And you see me recommending names in our newsletter, taking very small stakes that we could add because we know it's not really the bottom, but we could be pretty close. I mean, stocks are down tremendously. I think we'll look back a year from now and be like, holy shit, we could have bought here. Absolutely. But we could go lower with everything going on. I get it. But you're looking at just talking to them, saying, hey, well, we got to go back to focusing on the customer. Everything that they talked about that they said they need to do that built their businesses early on, and they kind of lost their way. We're doing. And we have, growth. We have our team is more excited. I've never been more excited about my company since I started as right now. And a lot of that is based on this TCG deal. Because not only does it provide an asset on our balance sheet that has the potential to generate recurring revenue to provide amazing services through the metaverse, I could lease out this real estate. I could sell it later. And you can say, well, Frank, what happens if it doesn't amount to anything or TCG fucked up, which is risk. I'm hoping TCG is going to do what they do, and they've been so far great. And people are starting to come to this site like crazy and purchase real estate. And if they don't do their job, fine. But you know what? Now, even going to the conference, I'm having access to tens of millions of names. I mean, tens of millions of names. And that's pretty cool because you're looking in this industry, advertising is getting more difficult. And that's a lot of the focus of the conference. I mean, advertising budgets are shrinking, right? Revenues are coming down, so obviously you're going to spend less on ads. But ad prices, they're not coming down. Not to mention the cracking down on shady market practices where the FTC publicly called out. They warned over 1,100 companies listed publicly, saying companies are going to come after if you don't change your practices. Many of our competitors are on that list. We're not on that list. So that TCG deal providing tens of millions of names at almost no cost. I mean, are they all going to be crypto investors? Are they all going to be stock investors? No. But I can tell you there's about 15 million names right now on that site that we're going to be talking to and meeting with. And at that level, with a list of 200,000 for us, I mean, you're looking at signing 0.25% is like a 7-8x increase in paid subscribers, without going through the whole bullshit advertising channels, which are going to make it extremely difficult because the FTC is not just coming out there. They're saying, we got to make sure that you guys are doing this right. That's no bullshit. So I feel like we're light years ahead of the industry right now, where we want to be. And we need help in certain areas. We want to be able to market a little bit more. But right now we're positioned well. The amount of people that come up to me and ask about the metaverse and the fact they don't understand it yet, it was really cool. I'm glad. I know you're there too. Trust me, I'm going to do everything I can to educate you to make it as simple as possible. That's why I'm giving free real estate in our deal. That's why even for crypto investors, you got to get free real estate. Why? Because I want you to go in there and learn. And that's how you learn when it's given to you. Now, hey, pay $1,000, you get the real estate, mess around. No, you can do whatever you want. I'll hold it for you. It's in your name. It's on a blockchain. You could sell it. You could hold it, you could build on it, you could play around on it, but now you're going to get familiar. Now you're going to come up with your own imagination of how you can make money off of it. Anything you want to do, it's yours. You own it. You own it. That's the new version of the internet, guys. That's here. And I know it's difficult to see with all the shit going on in the market, but trust me on this one. You guys trust me for a long time, so much so that when you look at our industry statistics, and we're a small company, but we have the highest average revenue per user, which may say we need to get more subscribers on at lower prices or whatever. But what that does say is that when people come into our products, they buy more than one product. And that's a sign that you're doing right by your customer. That creates long-term value. That's why I'm able to raise $4 million security token with most people not even knowing on my list what it was. Holy shit. I mean, the trust you have to do that is incredible. I mean, that's what I'm thinking about. Like everybody that came into that and trusted and said, holy shit, and now I was hearing like everyone, wow, this is an innovative idea. This is great. So yeah, it allows us to raise money to build our company. It's good for investors because if I don't do my job, you could trade the security, you can get out of it. You're not stuck in a private company. It's on Series G of the freaking capital raise that's down 50, 60% now. Now they're not going public for another 2-3 years because most of those investors are underwater. Now that money's stuck. I mean, it holds accountability. It's good for the investor. It's good for you. And it's good for me because I don't have to pay the higher costs. And at less liquidity, yeah, not so good, but it's not so good for me. I own most of the stock. But I can tell you that low liquidity meant that I own 63% of the stock. I'm putting an extra $200,000 into this deal at the same price everyone else is coming in at this current price, which a lot of people don't do. They do finance at 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, at $1.25. And they're like, hey, you want to get in, Frank? I'm like, well, you come in? No. Oh, well, you own stock at like, a penny and 25 cents and you're not coming in at this. Why are you selling it to me then? Stop fucking with me. That's another thing in this industry. I saw a lot of companies there, talk about deals and deal flow and providing, individual investors, retail investors, talk about Reg A. Reg A shit. Reg A shit. I know. I'm talking, and it's probably friends that are listening to this podcast right now that are pitching it. Reg A is garbage. I challenge you. Show me something with a Reg A that has worked out for their individual investors. And there's going to be a couple of emails that come in, and then you might find 4 or 5 companies. There's thousands. Every company wants to raise money. You use a Reg A because the institutional investors are smart enough not to invest in it because it's a shitty deal. That's why you do Reg A. So you sell it to people who don't know better. That's what Reg A is. I'm not saying every Reg A deal. I'm saying about 98% of shit. I didn't do a Reg A. I could have did a Reg A. You don't do Reg A's. It creates a red flag right away from the regulatory front. They're legal, but, you're going to have people that are investing life savings in it. And that's dangerous because this is a market where, Reg A, everyone's looking to raise money. So you could have 1 million Reg A deals. The whole world's looking to raise money right now. Struggling. Everyone's looking to raise money. So Reg A, it's very dangerous because the individual investor does not know how to look under the hood. They have no idea. On the fundamentals, on the growth, what's going on with this company? What price are you doing this at? What's the valuation of the company? I bet you a lot of these guys invest in Reg A. They don't even know the valuation of the company. What are you coming in at? You can get shares. Hey, you're getting them at 10 cents. That's cool. That valuation that you're coming in at could be 100 million. It could be 10 million, or it could be 3 billion based on how many shares are outstanding, which a lot of people won't even look up, which is crazy. That's why credit investors, they know better. And not for the regulatory front, it's even better because you check it off. You can't be a credit investor and say, oh, I lost money in this. You should know better. That's what it says. That you have enough in assets where you could take on a loss if you invest in this. But the Reg A deals are very dangerous. I'm not saying all of them are bad, but most of them are, and they're dangerous. But that's some of the things that they're looking for in terms of growth and how to, and for me, I just feel like we're light years. I feel like where we are is where everyone's going to be 5 years from now. And for me, it's my job to continue to innovate. Like Research in Motion, the greatest thing ever. Invented the smartphone, non-existent anymore. Failed to innovate. Blockbuster, failed to innovate. AOL, failed to innovate. And there's companies out there that are going to take your lunch and do everything they can. So me, it's always like, wow, the security token is great. Wow, this TCG is great. When they started getting the metaverse 3 years from now, we're going to be getting to the next big thing. And that's what we have to continue to do here. So glad to have all your support, even though it's a crazy market. It's nuts. But the conference is really great. Catching up with friends, really just good conversations. And I learned a lot from them in terms, the marketing part of the business, the operations part of the business, of how they build. I mean, these companies are $100 million plus companies at one time or another, and much more than that. And we're doing 3 million in sales. You could see why, like, you know, for us, it's not hard to go for 4 or 5 million in sales and then 10 million and 15 million. But a lot of these guys have been through that path already. And just to be there and learn from them, there's a lot of great people at a conference. I don't want to, you know, say there's shady players everywhere, but, you know, at this conference, it's really good. I thank John Knutson for inviting me and just, you know, really cool, great networking, great people. And, you know, who knows? That could end up, you know, a lot of our partners are people that we may take over, again, using our stock as currency. That's why I did this with security tokens. So, you know, just great catching up with friends. It was a great time. I wasn't too concerned because when the market came down, I felt bad every time I go away, the market falls, but it falls every single day now almost. 11 to 12 weeks. Pretty crazy, guys. So sorry for the longer podcast. I usually keep this at 30 minutes. There's a lot to talk about, a lot going on. I'm here for you. Questions, comments, FrankCurzioResearch.com. Again, a lot of you guys are struggling. This is the time to ask a lot of questions. This is the time to do some research. You stopped at a few names. You should have cash on the sidelines. Hopefully you bought puts, which I did push tremendously. I said, even if you're not going to buy our product, Moneyflow Trader and Jenny is unbelievable. I think it's, seriously, over the past few weeks, it's like 600 or 700% winner she locked in. Just buying puts. Very simple. You can do it through your account. The simple E-Trade account, Schwab, whatever account. But hopefully, you know, you should have money on the sidelines and you should be looking right now. This is what you do, okay? This really quick, guys, really quick. I'm going to give you this advice, not because I'm a genius, because I'm an idiot, okay? When you look at oil was zero. Oil went to zero. Think about that for a minute. That's how bad it got. And look at the money that you could make in oil right now. You see these ups and downs. You saw the 35, 40% decline during COVID. You saw it during the credit crisis. We figure it out. We'll always figure it out. And we wash out a lot of the bullshit. We know, but we adjust. Companies adjust. We have a Fed that's, you know, pro markets. Yes, they're forcing a recession right now, but they're doing the good thing over the long term. And now is the time to work your hardest. People want to take money out and say, okay, I lost some money. I'm down 20%, 30%, whatever. Now is the time that separates you from everyone else. Here's where the next generation of millionaires, this is where it comes from people looking at stuff right now. Thousands of innovations have come out. Thousands of innovations. Amazing stuff have come out over the past 15 years. Post.com. All the technology that has come out. Post.com. After 2009, 2010. I mean, the first generation of the iPhone was what? 2007? I don't think the iPad was it. I mean, these innovations come out regardless of the market. But you have to be prepared. And that's what I'm doing now. You have to work hard and find those ideas now that they're down. Now that this is the type of market that Warren Buffett lives by. Purchasing those warrants for Goldman. I mean, handing him money. This is what separates you from everyone else. It's doing the homework during markets like this because nobody really is. Just institutions, a little bit of smart money. But right now, this is where you want to buy assets where you can buy a significant discount to where they were 6 months ago. And maybe you sit on them and maybe it's not going to be that good, just like housing. With Fannie and Freddie, they made so much money on those freaking assets. They're still in conservatorship. They don't even know what to do. The government doesn't even know what to do with them. It took like a year and a half, 2 years before it started to rebound. Look what real estate prices are. Holy shit. Owning every loan? Not bad. It could take a while. You might take some losses, but it should be money that you have on the sidelines that you're like, all right, it's going to be bumpy over the next 12 months, but if you have a 3-5 year time horizon, like buying Bitcoin here with the institutional money coming in, it's getting killed because it's being forced to sell. A lot of these guys have Bitcoin backing a lot of these loans, and you're seeing them be forced to sell Bitcoin. You're seeing it come down. It doesn't mean crypto's bullshit. This is where the innovation's coming from, guys. There's a lot of great companies within crypto. 90% is garbage. It's good to see the washout. Be prepared. Just like we saw with technology. I would say more like 50-60% was garbage back then. The washout, look what happened to those survivors. They took up all the fucking market share. Why do you think our banks, which are too big to fail in 2008, 2009, why do you think they're so freaking big? They're 3-4 times the size now? Because they took over all the assets of the little banks that failed. The government backstopped those and said, don't worry about the losses, just hold these assets on your balance sheet. And look what happened. 3-4x bigger. The whole 2008 crisis, the whole bailout, TARP, was so we don't have to rely on these too big to fail banks anymore. And they're 4 times bigger than they were back then because they were given assets for free with no risk. You're going to take on some risk. It's going to be tough. But this is a time to start picking away at least. I told you, I'm buying. I'm buying without worrying about what's going to happen over the next couple of months. Because I know over the next 2 years, are going to be in good shape with a lot of these great names that are going to take time. Remember, in this market, a lot of companies go out, they lose market share, and those bigger companies, industry leaders, are going to take that market share and become even bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what Amazon did. Amazon put a lot of retailers, a ton of retailers out of business. We're going to see like a decline in big box retailers, where there's not going to be any more. I just thought that conversation was funny. No more big box, everything online. It's bullshit. But man, all the market share they took, and look how big they got. That's what's going to happen over the next 12 months. You can see industry leaders go crazy. They have cash on the balance sheets. They're going to be buying stuff dirt cheap. And those are names you want to be in for the next 5 years, 10 years. That's how you invest. The smart investors love these types of markets. If they're prepared, this is how you make a fortune. And this is what I'm going to show you how to do over the next few months, and exactly what I'm doing for every one of my products.